We're going to get started here pretty quick. We're going to allow a few folks to get in. If this is the first time you're catching a live stream, welcome. This is BBT, one of the oldest channels on the cryptocurrency mining space. I think I am the oldest, actually. I think I was the first one in 2013 to bring you guys some content. So if you're clicking on this video and wondering what the heck are we about to go through, Rebtech sent over, Rebtech, R-E-B, Tech is their name, Rebtech. I always call them Rebtech. Sent over their latest offering here. This is the 8GPU. This is a full motherboard, CPU, RAM, everything. This is a mini computer that's in the shape of a graphics card. So it actually can get installed into a mining rig like a graphics card. They sent me over 4 of these bad boys. And I think I'm going to send one over to Son of Tech. Maybe one over to Red Panda or somebody else. Maybe we'll find a few different creators to send them to, because they sent them to me for free. So I do not have a problem sharing wealth. I will send one over to one of the other creators that want to check it out. And then maybe we'll set a time here coming up in the next few weeks after we kind of go through this thing thoroughly. And then we'll give it away on a giveaway. So we'll give one of them away. I always like to keep at least one of them for a contest. I have the old one too, somewhere over there. I'll pull it over here in a minute. Hopefully you guys are having a good Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm trying to get this one done early. Got some folks coming over. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Everything is good. We'll let a few more get in there, and then I'll give you guys kind of a close-up of this. I actually have my phone paired, trying something new. We have part of this studio broken down. It is going over to our new location. If you have not been following us on Twitter, we are building a true to the blue professional studio for the YouTube stuff. I'm probably one of the only channels out there that has less than 100,000 subscribers and probably has a $100,000 studio going up. But it's all for you guys. And of course, YouTube content's free. We do not have any pay content. Just to bring you guys the passion that I love on this cryptocurrency stuff. So, yeah, we're going to grab the other one while we're waiting for folks to get in here. So they had 2 other pieces of equipment from back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I'm talking 2017, 2018 timeframe. So this was the original version of it. We'll bring this one up on the screen here. And this had an AMD processor, APU. So it actually has the HDMI on it, a couple USB 3.0s, a network adapter, and a USB 2.0. And this one did not have an SSD reader like these ones do. So this was, again, the older one, 4-core AMD APU. And then they used to get into making GPUs too, Rebtech. And this is an RX 480. But this 480 is very interesting because it has no bottom interface. It has no PCIe interface at all. It is a USB graphics card. So essentially they took off the PCIe on this and they just put a USB on the back of it. And it has a single HDMI. So this was a very unique GPU also that was paired up with this back in the day. So RX 480 with only a USB interface and, you know, this unit here. So that was the old, and we'll do some comparison of that on our normal video so you guys can check it out. Today, though, we're going to fire this up. I have not fired this up yet. So consider this video like an unboxing where we're going to just see what's going on with it and then see what we need to do to build out a machine. Now I do have a machine I'm going to put it in. We built a fresh new case. I'll bring it over in a little bit with an 8. It's got 8 spots on it. We made our own case for this one, and we're going to probably put some Red Devil RX 588 gigs on it because we have quite a few of those available right now in the space, and we'll probably try a couple different configs with it, to be honest with you. So we're gonna do we'll do the 8 card RX 580, and then we'll probably do I have 8 of the 6700 XT NVIDIA cards too, and if we can, we'll try some like A4000s or 5000s too in a later video. So I'm gonna try to do a gamut of testing with this to see, you know, can it handle, which it should be able to, everything that we have here. So let's try. Yes, somebody, Latrell asked, is this the one with the SSD reader? And it is. These are also supposedly Intel ones. Again, I haven't started up. Let's check the close-up cam that I had set up. Let's try, first off, let's see here if this one can go over. I'm going to move this camera up. It's going to be a little zoomed in for a second while I'm moving the framing up. Move it to here. And then this is this camera here. So it's my actual phone. How about that? It's gonna be, it might be a little shaky. We'll see if I can keep it stable. So this is the unit here. So you guys can see this has 8 USBs that you'd plug your risers directly into. And then it has a 6-pin power connector is what powers this whole thing. So let's get a little closer up here. You can see it's got like a laptop style memory. It's got the ROM power is coming off, you know, ROM storage when it comes to the BIOS has a normal typical battery on it. And then this is a very, very small heat sink fan combo for the processor that's on here. It is a low wattage Intel processor, probably a Celeron or a special Celeron. And you can see some of the, try not to get too much of the wash here. Let me come up a little. So you can see the detail here, and underneath it says, you know, 8 GPU blockchain PC. You can see some of the other detail here, and it's got the NVMe space now on this. And then on the back, sorry for the shakiness, my dudes. Here is the back. Let me move these cables out of the way so you guys can see it a little better. And on the back, we got, there's some tape holding, this is the way they shipped it. It had some tape holding the SD card that's in there. And I'm going to take a safe assumption that they don't have any OS on this at all right now, but we'll see. There's a power button right there at the top. Let me get over here. Power button right there. SD card. Don't know if that's empty or not. And then you got the HDMI. And again, same kind of configuration the other one had where it has network and 3 USBs. So now we're going to get links and all that to these if you guys are interested. I have no idea what the pricing is yet. I actually emailed them and said, hey, thanks for sending it. What's the deets? Because I would like to get a whole bunch of these if they're good and put them in Crypto World, and we can put them online for folks. And then we'll be able to handle the ordering piece. And then let's put this over here. Here's the old one for folks that are curious of what the old one looked like. So this was the AMD version that was a little older. You can see there the older SSD style laptop. So this is SSD storage. This is 128 gig SSD storage that came with this one. And this heatsink's a little more beefier. I mean, it's still really small, but this is the AMD 4-core APU. And then you got the 8 GPU blockchain. And then this one had, I want to say it had 8 gigs of RAM on it. And then again, same kind of style where it had the 8 and the 6 pins on it. Sorry for the shakiness. Gregory says they're $359 USD, $300. Yeah, we'll take a look, and I'll see if we can get a discount if possible, if we order a whole bunch of them and then make them available to you guys. And then, let's see here. This was the old GPU. I don't think they're doing GPUs anymore, but this was the GPU that they had. And you can see, again, no interface on it. Like, that's the top of the GPU. No 16X, or even 4X, nothing. It's like completely empty. The only interface is a USB. My picture keeps getting in the way. USB connector, and then there's 2 6 pins here. So this was the GPUs they used to create. And this is the 480, RX 480. Let's see inside there, the heat pipe on there. This thing always stayed pretty cold too. Under full load, it wasn't much. I mean, it always stay around 46C. Very well built. But that's what we're looking at. Okay, so let's switch over. Now we got a few folks in. And let's move back over to, throw that off to the side here. And then we're going to bring up, let's power this thing up. I haven't powered this thing up yet. And then see what we're dealing with. Because I'm going to make a video, like we have to put an OS and all that on it. I don't know if I'm going to get it all into that on this live stream. Maybe. We'll see. It is Super Bowl Sunday. But I want to go through and just make sure everything is in order. Let's see here. Maybe we'll put an OS on it and get it staged. I would like to mine with it today. Let's switch over. That's the power close-up, and that is not happening. Let's make sure the zoom works. Okay, so you will be able to see. I do have it powered up to the meter because I want to see how much power it draws. So then let's switch over to the screen, and let's power this thing up. So I do have this hooked up to a 1000 watt P2 in anticipation that we're going to put some GPUs on it. And let's see. If it already has an OS on it, we're going to get right to it and put a GPU on it. All right, so powering it up. Let's see what the screen comes up as. Okay, there you go. Intel Celeron processor. And it looks like it was looking for GPUs. It didn't see any. And it looks like there's no OS on it because it brought us straight to the BIOS screen. Let's take a look and walk through this BIOS and check it out. Bot Crusher just gave us some specs there. The Elkhart Lake 2 gigahertz Celeron 4-core 10 watt TDP. We can validate that. Well, as an idle, let's check and see what the power rate is on it, right? Power close-up. Nope, that's not it. Let's do a zoom. Here we go. So it is setting at 12.4 watts right now. Staying solid, no fluctuation. It's 1 amp right now at 12 watts. So the whole unit right now is using 12 watts at idle. It's already pretty lower power than most. Let's go back to the screen. And let's take a look in this BIOS. So, looks pretty new. It is confirming that it's a 2 gigahertz processor, 4 core, 4 threads. Total memory is 8 gig, so it does come with 8 gigs of memory. This thing actually has a lot of information. All right, let's go over to advanced. Holy heck, look at all those options, my dudes. Holy hell. Let's go into the first one, RC APC. Sensor standby, PEP configuration. Holy hell. It's getting down into the weeds on ability here. PCI delay optimization, connectivity configuration, CNV1 mode, pre-boot, BLE, advanced settings. I'm almost scared to look at this. Sure, let's look at advanced settings. Switch antenna diversity selection. This thing got Wi-Fi on it? That's strange. Look at... Yeah, it does. Wi-Fi range. It does have Wi-Fi. Has different... Oh, man, you can narrow this all the way down, my dudes. Why isn't this in every board? Antenna gains? Like, that's some serious narrowing it down. Okay. CPU configuration. That's some pretty detailed CPU power management. Turbo mode enabled. Configuration turbo options. This thing... max frequency. So 4 gigahertz is the max frequency on this thing. It is set to 2. I mean, this thing has more options than most like top of the line ROG boards. This is hilarious. Like, I don't get this kind of level of fidelity in like a $600 new Z690 board. PL1 enablement. So those are the power states, C states, thermal monitoring, custom P state control, CPU lock configuration, overclocking locks. Yeah, dudes, this is like I would dream for this kind of control like on most boards. Like, what the heck, man? Disable GT frequencies? No, enable that. Maximum frequencies? Oh. This is like if you were to hook up to like a motherboard testing kit. So anybody that's ever been done any kind of hardware testing and you're working through like a deep dive on configurations of a motherboard to see if something's wrong. This is the kind of stuff that you would see under it. Like, this is what's interesting is they essentially just said, what's the max configuration on the motherboard? And somebody just said yes, right? Like they didn't even like, oh, max config, yes, just I'll make everything available. Like, and the reason why they hide a lot of this kind of stuff for like normal boards is because they figure, you know, like, yeah, no, we don't want a whole bunch of plebs in there just playing with stuff. Hardware health monitors, platform driver support direct. Because like you could actually configure a few of these things and really kind of just make your connection, your stability of your system kind of wonky. If you have some kernel debug patch. What? I wonder if that's on the Intel platform for some of the open and exposed kernel issues. Platform debug consent. So you can actually control the input-output addressing on a USB level of what's plugged into it. USB overcurrent override. Crash log features. Reverts. Okay, so like crash log clear enable. So that like if it crashes, if the motherboard has a bad stable issue, like you can have it reset the settings. That's interesting. Oh my God, there's an advanced debugging, or we were in there? Yeah, we were in there. I'm gonna try to go through these a little faster if we can. Holy hell. This is me just dorking out right now. CPU lock config. Like, this thing is way in the weeds. Like, you get lost in this. Memory. Like, like 95% of this is not needed in any capacity ever. But they give you full unlocked scope access essentially to the entire BIOS. Hardware health monitoring, smart settings, power management, NVMe. This is the SD config. So it's got a 64 gig SD card that comes with it. Got virtualization. Has 266 memory on it. There's the timings on it. Not that any of that matters. This makes me almost want to try to play a game or something on it too. It's hilarious. We definitely are gonna put a Windows build on this just to play around. So above 4G is under system agent configuration. That's comes stock on, which is going to be needed to get over like 3 GPUs. Camera. MIPI camera configuration. Camera 1 through camera 4. What the hell? It's got little micro cameras on it. Wonder if there's like adapters on it to hook up like mini cameras or something. I don't know what that means. Chipset, security, boot, fast boot enabled. Let's see here, boot setup. Data support, NVMe is enabled. Initial, where is the boot sequence? Timeout, quiet boot, which won't show the first part. Fast boot's on. So I guess it just runs right down the stack here. So it starts with SATA, moves to NVMe, USB, control. All right. Okay, so it doesn't come with an OS. So that means F9 to hit boot menu. I do have a Windows drive here. Let me see. Actually, let's just try to hook up a GPU. You guys want to just check out a GPU with it? Let's try to pull a normal like mining OS. See if a mining OS works with it. Oh, right away, it picked it up. Let's see what it does with the mining OS booting it. And if it boots up, then we'll just hook a GPU to it. Why not? I'm going to have to add back here. I'm going to have to add this as a device because it's going to come up as a new So that's a simple mining OS drive. We'll try to, we'll see if it comes up and registers it and adds it as a device. And if it does, then we can throw a GPU on it real quick. Okay, so we've added. See if it comes up. You guys, it's Sunday. Good? Reboot in 5. We ain't got no time for that. GPU was, no cards were connected. Okay, so it doesn't, it won't let it do it without a GPU connected. So let's shut it down and let's get a GPU connected real quick to it. So I need a riser. I think we got a few of those around here. Hold on real quick. Grab the first GPU I found. I don't even know what this is. What is this? It's a 5500 XT. I haven't even actually tested this. All right, so we don't need the little adapter. This will plug directly into the back of this board. See if it finds a 5500. That actually might jack up my config, actually thinking about it. And we need to get some power to this riser, so we'll throw a 6-pin into it. We'll throw the 5500 XT into it. I'm actually going to try two. Like when we boot this up and everything's working good, we'll try an AMD GPU and then we'll try an NVIDIA GPU, because on the old one, without a firmware update, you couldn't do NVIDIA GPUs. So out of the gate, it was really made to go with AMD only. It's got a single 8-pin on it, which I don't know why, because this GPU doesn't use that much power at all. Could have probably got by with a single 6-pin. Fans to hit anything. Starts moving. All right. I got a GPU hooked up, my dudes. Actually, I should do it this way. Thinking about it, we should get this hooked up to the meter. There we go. I got the meter here, so I can at least check that. Now I get this hooked up as the riser on my meter here, so we can see kind of what the device is pulling. So let's turn this thing on. Okay, GPU's on. Let's go back to the screen. Other device present. So it doesn't know what it is, but it knows there's a GPU there. Now, again, I might be screwing this up by putting a 5500 XT in there. That's not kind of a typical mining card, but we'll see. We'll see if this thing pops up and registers here as a new device. It looks like it is. No name, device. CUDA Found the 5500 XT, and we're off to mining, my dudes. Now there's no config on this thing. Let's put it at some config to it. I don't know the optimal configs of this 5500 XT. I've done nothing with this card, so we're just going to play around with some settings. That might have been a little too much for it. That does not like that setting. Let's try. Might have starved it a little too much. 825. So it's not reading the 5500 XT. And I mean, we could put a different GPU in here, but yeah, I mean, some of the question is, you know, why pay like $350 for this? And it does come back down to form factor. I mean, you could have a ultra small case with this. You're not having a whole motherboard. It really adjusts the configs. And then you got a lower power footprint on the actual device itself. I mean, it's 12 watts. The unit's using 12 watts. Typically, you have a motherboard's using 30 to 40 watts. Yeah, I think this is still too much of a config because it's blowing up the. Let's switch GPUs because I don't want to sit here and go through and discover what a 5500 XT needs to be. Let's put a 6700 XT on it probably. Let's shut this thing off. Let's put a different GPU on this. Ow. Fingers fan. We'll come back to the 5500 XT when I go to try to actually play around with the configs of this. Let's grab something fun. Grab the 6700 XT. And then we'll grab a, I grabbed a 3070 non-LHR. This is the MSI Mech edition. 6700. You guys see this? There we go. So the 6700 Mech. We haven't actually done this GPU yet either. I was going to do an 8-card build of these. Fire this up. Let's go back to the screen. I don't know why I switched back to there. It did not like something. Try it again. Did not fire up the, there it goes. It says one helium miner for 10 watts is almost as much as a 6-card mining rig. I do not do any helium mining. I never picked up a unit. Seems like there was a lot of issues with people getting their units and stuff, and I just didn't want to get in that game. A weird issue there with this miner. Let me see which miners it's trying to do. Oh, it's trying to do nVidia. Let's try Team Red Miner here. I accidentally hit the wrong config on that one. Rebooting it. I'm doing it from my phone, so it's just the screen's a lot smaller. I typically have like a whole other setup here, guys, but with us moving the studio over to the new location, like we're kind of in between the two things. That's why you guys haven't seen a lot of streams from me right now. Anybody that's tracking us and following, you know, kind of what we're doing on Twitter, you can see that we're building a new location, and that location is like a true blue YouTube studio. So, along with the service center for GPUs and ASICs and all that kind of fun stuff. So we just hired our 10th person. So up and coming. And we're obviously going to be covering tons of content when it comes to, you know, GPU mining, ASIC mining. Maybe we'll do some stuff on highlighting some helium stuff if they're available now. I do not like covering things that people can't get. Like if it's a device and they're just nearly impossible to get, then blue's kind of hard to read. Through its config and settings right now. So this is 6700 XT. Here. 45 mega hash. Insanely fast, but not too bad. So let's take a look real quick at Zoom. So the device with one GPU plugged in right now is pulling 14 watts, 14 to 16 watts. So I have the Rebtech plugged in, and what you're seeing right now on the power meter in the lower left-hand corner there is the power draw just from that Rebtech. So that's part of what you're also paying for if you're buying like one of these little smaller form factors, is the lack of, you know, using 30, 40 watts coming from the device. You actually have, you know, the device itself only pulling like 14 watts. So if we switch it over to the GPU, the 6700 right now is using about 54 watts out of the 12 volt rails here. So that's the only thing being metered right now is the 12 volt rail. So you would have another 30 something watts coming from the riser. So that is not being measured. So do not think that this is only 54 watts on the 6700 XT. It is this connector plus the riser, which I do not have hooked up. So we're not capturing any power setting on that riser. So, and that would be around 27 to 30 watts to give everybody an understanding. So you're around 80 watts right now for almost 50 mega hash on the 6700. So that's that one real quick. Okay, so it is running. It does run simple mining out of the box, which is interesting. Probably would like to try Hive too to validate that. But before that, let's switch over real quick and try well, I'll let you guys pick. You guys want me to try a 3070? So this is the Trio MSI 3070 non-LHR, or I can try a 3080 for the Win 3 edition, non-LHR. Those are kind of the golden gooses of the crypto mining space. Or we could try 3090. What do you guys want me to try? I want to see if this does NVIDIA. So I'll let you guys choose. While you're doing that, I'm going to grab the 3090 while you guys are voting, just in case. And this is the ROG 3090. And I got a 3080 Ti also down here, not deployed right now. These are kind of the testing cards. We have about 107, I think I counted yesterday, 107 individual unique GPUs for our test benches. And in the new studio, we're going to try to have as many as we can behind us. We have an 86-inch smartboard that's going to be right behind me, for I can do a lot of the old school kind of whiteboard sessions that I used to do with you guys. I got a 3090. Somebody says a 3080 LHR. I don't have a 3080 LHR. I have a 3080 Ti LHR. I don't have any 3080. A 1030. I don't have any 1030s. I don't think I have any. Nope. I have a 1050 and a 1050 Ti. All right, let's try. We got a few votes for the 3090. So let's power this off again. I want to try an AMD. All right, try an NVIDIA. I can see the fan spinning. Don't grab them. There, I can now. And this card did not get hot at all. This is a very good card. These 6700s are nice. They're actually pretty good gaming cards, too. I'll just throw that right there. Oh, this beast. This thing's heavy. Okay. So this has got triples. Triples on top. 3 of the actors here. I need to pull out the old one of them rip. Pull out the old 3090 or 390. Okay, this thing's such a beast. I have to slide this back, I think. You know what? This is going to be in the front because, or I'm going to leave that in the front. I'm going to put this in the back because this wiring setup that we got going on here is not. Make sure this isn't going to fall. We're going to put a holder here. Beneath you. There we go. All right. Let's do this, my dudes. So again, the old Rebtech did not work with NVIDIA unless you had a BIOS. So let's switch back to the screen and let's flip this thing on. Change the config now. Right, it's trying to. Getting it configured right now. It's crashing because it was trying to run the old AMD settings. It was trying to push it. The millivolts setting also is used on the same. It's still showing the AMD setup here on this rig, so I need to let it refine that it's NVIDIA. Power limit watts. Here we go. Now we can change it. 305. Here. 70 here. And let's try that. All right, it's going to reboot. Or reset it up. Oh, and I need to change the miner because right now it's on Team Red Miner. There we go. Let's try that. So this is the 3090 ROG Asus. And I guess it's running Phoenix Miner right now. And try a different miner too. And so NVIDIA is working. I just changed a little setting here. MC says these are perfect motherboards for server cases. Well, it takes up a GPU slot, so if you want to smack it in the middle of the GPU or you want to put it up in the front, they are pretty small. So here we go. This is it is running a 3090, no problem. 122. Playing around with some settings here. So we can get this baby too. Yeah, and I'll send a link down here, guys, for you before we wrap up. And we'll put some timestamps for anybody that came on the stream late. We'll put a whole bunch of timestamps in here, so don't fret. $122 mega hash on this 3090. Not too bad. Got a good valid share though. Yep, there's a good share. So yep, it's running. Let's take a look real quick at the. So this GPU is using 167 watts from the 12 volt supported power. And then on the riser, it's probably using about 80 watts. So there's your math right now on the amount of power that this GPU is using. So do 167 plus about 80, 84, somewhere around there is what this riser's using. That's what our power draw from the meter is, because I'm not capturing that. We're capturing the power from the Rebtech itself, and the Rebtech is using 20 watts. So 23. So it was at 18 with the 6700. So this is interesting that it's using a little more juice on this one. So you can see that it did go up by 6 watts, 7 watts. between the NVIDIA R9 3090 and the 6700 AMD card. So it's, for whatever reason, using an additional 7-8 watts on the Rebtech board when it's doing the stuff with the 3090 here. Oh, let's go back screen and take a look. Yep, still running at 122.3. And the software is reporting 329 watts, but you can see from the meter we're just under 300 watts itself. So the software's off a little bit. So that's pretty interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in a video tomorrow, this little Rebtech board in with an 8-card build. So we're going to do an 8-card build with that. It's a custom case we put together and then screwed the risers to the board. You'll see what I'm talking about when we do it. We're 50-50 if we're going to paint it. We like kind of cleaning things up. But we're going to put this in, and then I'm going to send one of these over to Son of a Tech and let him do a review of it too himself. We'll take a look at this SD card. I'm going to put an OS on that SD card and let it just run off this, right? I don't have to put a USB stick there. Also, it has an NVMe drive, and we're going to put an NVMe. We'll put like Windows on it and then try to see what its gaming performance and stuff is, just for giggles. You guys want to see a close-up before we shut the stream down? I can switch that over. You guys can get a close-up now that we have some people in here. Let's switch this over, make sure it's connected. It is. And let's do close-up cam. Okay, so this, I'm going to take you guys over through here. Here is the board here. Let me just do it here. Folks that did not get to see this thing, this is the board that we're talking about. So this is an entire PC, memory, everything. So you can see the HDMI there at the end. You can see the SD reader for if you want to put an OS on that. You got the network, 2 USB 3.0s and a 2.1. You got a power button up there at the top. And then you have the Intel 2 gigahertz processor, 4-core on it. Let me go down like this. That way we're not getting the splash. There we go. And then you got the 8 gigs of memory on it. And then it's got the 8 connectors for an 8-card rig. And the whole thing is powered by a single 6-pin. So this is the device that we're talking about. Rebtech sent 4 of them out. I'm going to send a couple to a few other creators, since Rebtech was gracious enough to send me 4 of them. And then we're going to do a giveaway later in the month of one of these things. I'm going to give one of these away to you guys. So we'll figure out how we're going to do that. Maybe it's at our event that is on the 24th. You guys will see more around that this week. So you guys see it plugged in over there. Kind of come there, and you see how it's kind of hooked up. And then that's hooked up to our meter right over here in the back of that. And that's how we're reading all of the stuff. And of course, this is the Asus Strix that we're running right now for the test. So switch back to this, and I'll give you guys kind of an outro of the things that are going on. So this week, make sure you're liking, subscribing, and following. We are having a hosted event this month. So on the 24th of February, there's 100 tickets. It should be live right now, but I'm going to have it on the video tomorrow where you guys can click and register and come see us, the BBT team. And we're going to have a few things going on in our downtown location, which is downtown St. Louis. It's at 10th and Washington. It's actually 911 Washington Street, and the event will be on the 5th floor. We have a large conference room there. We have a bar with free beer and everything. So if you're over 21, there'll be free beer. It's going to be a free ticket. So it's a limited amount. There's only 100 tickets. That is, again, is on February 24th. It's a Thursday. The event will start at 6 p.m. and will last until 9. And we are going to mint NFTs for all the people that show up and give everybody an NFT for the event. So your ticket essentially will be a unique NFT. There will only be so many, about 120, because we're going to have a few other folks that are coming to support the event and stuff, and everybody's going to get an NFT that shows up. So it will be a unique amount of single NFTs for that. In addition, we will have a few speakers, one talking about NFTs, and then we're going to be talking on some of the future other events that we're going to be hosting at that place, including and possibly bringing some bigger name folks at our event there. So make sure you're following on Twitter. That's where you're going to find that information first. I am cross-platforming, where we can. We have a TikTok, we have an Instagram, all that kind of fun stuff too. But we'll maybe even give one of these away there. We're going to most likely do a giveaway. If you can't make it to the physical event, we will be hosting a live stream during that event also. So you guys will be able to see some stuff there. So it's about an hour and a half live stream and then an hour and a half of just like mingle event in the back where the bar is. We have a full-size bar back there and everything. So again, food is catered and covered and free. So it's a completely free event. So